Welcome to Lead with Clarity. This is a space for leaders who want to grow without losing themselves in the process. Each episode is a short reflection on leadership, influence, and the inner work that shapes how we show up for others. It's not hype, not noise, just clear thinking for the journey of leading well. Today's episode is entitled The Partnership Behind Every Great Idea. Here we go. There's a moment every leader recognizes, even if they have never named it. Someone in the room lights up with an idea. It's bold, maybe a little unreasonable, and everyone can feel the energy of it. And then there's a pause. A great idea on its own is not the same thing as a great outcome. Sinek put it simply when he said, "Greatness happens when the person with the wild imagination collaborates with the person who knows how to get things done." Two different gifts working together, producing something neither could produce alone. I think about the leaders who carry this well. They are rarely trying to be both things at once. The visionary is not pretending to love spreadsheets. The operator is not pretending to have invented the idea. Each one respects what the other brings, and neither one treats their own gift as the more important half of the partnership. Here's where it gets misread. A lot of leaders hear this and think it is about balance, about softening their own instincts until they become a little bit of both. That is not what is happening. The strongest pairings I have seen are not blended. They are sharp on both sides. One person pushes the idea further than seems reasonable. The other person pulls it back into something buildable. The tension between them is not a flaw in the system, it is the system. The common misread goes the other way, too. Some leaders assume that because they are strong executors, imagination is not their job. They wait for someone else to bring the vision, and they never develop the instinct to recognize a good one when it shows up. Execution without any appetite for imagination becomes maintenance. It keeps things running. It rarely creates anything worth remembering. So let's reframe this. Greatness is not a solo trait you are missing. It is a partnership you have not yet built. The question is not, am I visionary enough or am I disciplined enough? The question is, who is standing next to you and whether you've made room for what they see that you do not. I've watched this break down in a very specific way inside organizations, and it's worth naming because it is so common. The visionary gets promoted, and suddenly they are managing the very operators who used to make their ideas real. Instead of preserving the partnership, they start treating execution as something beneath the new title. The operator, in turn, starts withholding the honest pushback that used to make the ideas better because now it feels like insubordination instead of collaboration. The partnership does not survive the org chart. And 6 months later, everyone wonders why the ideas got worse, even though the same two people are still in the building. The fix is not complicated, but it does require humility on both sides. The visionary has to keep asking to be told how and mean it, even after the promotion. The operator has to keep offering the honest version of why not, even when it would be easier to just execute quietly and avoid the friction. Neither one gets to retire their half of the conversation just because the reporting lines changed. This matters even more in an AI-enabled environment, and it is worth being precise about why. The tools available now can generate a wild idea in seconds. They can also draft a plan for executing it just as quickly. What they cannot do is tell you which idea deserves the effort or whether the plan actually accounts for what will go wrong. That discernment is still entirely human. So if anything, the pairing that Sinek described becomes more valuable, not less, because the volume of ideas and plans available to any leader has gone up dramatically, and judgment is the only thing sorting the ones worth pursuing from the ones that will waste a quarter of your team's time. Here's something worth carrying with you today. Think about the last idea you were genuinely excited about. Did you bring it to someone who would ask you how? And think about the last plan you built. Did you bring it to someone who would ask you why? If the answer to either one is no, that's not a failure of imagination or execution. It is a partnership still waiting to be formed. Greatness was never meant to be carried by one person alone. It was always meant to be built between two people willing to take each other seriously.